Autoline Daily is brought to you by Dow Automotive Systems, improving durability and increasing design flexibility with Betamate structural adhesives at dowbetamate.com.
Here are today's top headlines. Bryan Nesbitt is out at Cadillac, so is the Converj, and more news pours out of the Geneva Auto Show. Up next, we'll be back with the news behind the headlines. This is Autoline Daily for Tuesday, March 2, 2010, and now the news, and now the breaking news, I should say. Autoblog broke the news that Bryan Nesbitt is being given the heave-ho as general manager of Cadillac. The former designer was given the unusual management position last summer, but while GM's other North American brands have posted dramatic sales gains in recent months, sales have been going nowhere at Cadillac. And speaking of Cadillac, Bloomberg reports that GM is dropping the idea of doing the Cadillac Converj extended range electric, which would have been based on the Chevrolet Volt. But to make it a Cadillac, the price would have jumped by another $30,000, and that wrecked the business plan. GM will now concentrate on a plug-in hybrid version of the XTS. And speaking of EVs, Ford is going to replicate its North American hybrid and EV program in Europe. Wards reports that the Transit Connect EV, the Focus EV, and 3 other hybrids will show up in Europe about 6 to 12 months after their debut in North America. Even though interest in hybrids and EVs is increasing in Europe, Ford expects to sell fewer of them there due to the high penetration of diesel engines, which already get excellent fuel economy. In more EV news, Daimler and BYD announced they'll team up together to make EVs under a new jointly owned brand. Daimler will develop the car and powertrain, BYD will make the batteries, and the target market is China. Lots of interesting news coming out of the Geneva show. Let's start with Audi. Yesterday, we reported that the German automaker was rumored to be working on an electric version of its new subcompact car, the A1. Now it's official. The E-TRON concept features an extended-range plug-in drivetrain similar to the Chevy Volt, but with a twist. It has a 12-kilowatt lithium-ion battery pack that should deliver an electric-only range of about 30 miles. It also has an electric motor that puts out 61 horsepower or 102 ponies for short bursts. But here's where Audi got innovative. Instead of extending the car's range with a conventional ICE, the A1 e-tron sports a tiny Wankel rotary engine mounted in the back below the cargo floor. It displaces just 254 cubic centimeters. Altogether, the company says the car should deliver around 124 miles per gallon. Audi is also showing off a hybrid version of its new A8 with a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine under the hood and a lithium-ion battery pack in the trunk. This electrified flagship sedan is said to deliver V6 levels of performance and 20% better fuel economy. As a full hybrid, it can run in EV mode for up to 1.2 miles at speeds of 40 miles an hour or less. Ford's making some news in Geneva, too. Wards reports that the company unveiled the station wagon version of its new Focus at the show yesterday. The grocery getter will share the sedan and hatchback's shapely new body and EcoBoost engines, but the company says it has no plans to offer the wagon in the U.S. On the bright side, though, rumors are swirling that Ford may reintroduce a high-performance version of the Focus. Mini debuted the Countryman in Geneva. It's the brand's first model with 4 doors and first model to measure more than 4 meters in length. The vehicle is offered with 3 gas engines that range from 98 to 184 horsepower and 2 diesel engines that range from 90 to 122 horsepower. All-wheel drive is available as an option. Coming up next, since we've been talking so much about electric vehicles, let's take a look at the electric version of the Transit Connect. My friend and colleague Jeff Gilbert from WWJ News Radio 950 recently took the Ford Transit Connect on a test drive. Here's his impressions of the vehicle.
Ford will be very happy to tell you that its Transit Connect is the North American Truck of the Year. And they have a couple of interesting variations of that vehicle here. They've got a taxi version, which is perfect for Chicago. They also have an electric version. And if you're wondering why I have my coat on here inside Chicago's McCormick Hall, well, it's because I'm going to get a chance to go out and drive an electric version of the Transit Connect. And I'm taking you with me. EVs are always interesting to start. No cranking, no real noise. Our drive was just a couple of laps around the convention center. But that's how delivery vehicles work, making this perfect for an electric vehicle with an 80-mile range. Predictable driving, predictable charging, and cutting out a lot of emissions.
Commercial trucks in our cities drive about 12% of the miles, and yet they're responsible for 25% of all emissions.
They'll probably only sell a few thousand electric Transit Connects. In fact, the taxi version should be a bigger seller, and it will come with an environmentally friendly option, a version that runs on compressed natural gas.
Thanks for your report, Jeff. And that is it for today's top news in the global automotive industry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.